Bitcoin Cryptocurrency Beginner's Guide for 2023. Welcome to Cash Street, where cash is always king. Over the past few years, Bitcoin has been one of the investments that have received the most attention. It has made many people wealthy, but guess what? It has also made many people poor. Their lack of knowledge about their investment is the reason, and that is the primary objective of this video. Before you decide whether or not to invest, I want to provide you with a basic introduction to Bitcoin. In this video, we'll go over the 4 most important questions about Bitcoin. First, what is Bitcoin and what makes it so powerful? Second, will Bitcoin be the cryptocurrency of the future? Third, how do we invest in Bitcoin? Fourth, is Bitcoin actually a good investment? Is it possible for me to make a lot of money here, or will I just lose it? Consequently, Bitcoin is the most popular cryptocurrency. It is the one that is most well known and has been adopted the most. Now, in order to comprehend cryptocurrency, you must first comprehend what money is. Money is merely a recognized store of value that is accepted by all as a method of payment. Money does not actually have any value on its own. You're aware that you could have exchanged money for gold in the past. However, the fact that we have all agreed to accept money as a form of payment is the only thing that makes it valuable today. Money is not backed by anything. Now, the issue with money is that, at first, governments and the central bank control it. This means that whether you use the dollar or another currency, you are completely dependent on their decisions if they decide to constantly print money and devalue it as they are doing. You are not in charge. Your hard-earned money in the bank loses value as a result of inflation. Another issue is that when you send money overseas, you have to deal with exchange rates and fees. You frequently incur additional fees if you decide to conduct additional transactions. A cryptocurrency like Bitcoin is advantageous because it addresses all of these issues. To begin, it is decentralized rather than centralized. You don't have to rely solely on the ledger of one central bank to keep track of everyone's money. Every computer in the system keeps a copy of the ledger, so no one can see Bitcoin. Therefore, you will need to shut down thousands of computers that keep a copy of the ledger in order to completely disable the system, so that everyone can see it openly, making it safer. Not one focal authority has commanded over it, and seemingly the most significant is it's safeguarded against expansion. There are only 21 million bitcoins in circulation, so you can't print more to devalue them. If you look at all of the issues with fiat money, you'll see that cryptocurrencies address all of them. However, that brings us to the question. One usually rises to the top and takes all of the market shares, whether it's a currency or a business in general. For instance, you are unfamiliar with search engines like Quill, AltaVista, InfoSeek, and all the web. No, you just know Google. You don't utilize Live Diary, Friendster, or MySpace. You use Facebook. Cryptocurrency is likely to be the one thing that takes over the entire industry. Therefore, the question is whether Bitcoin will become the internet's cryptocurrency, the one that appears first. The response is that it probably will. At least it is the top of the race. Consequently, this is what Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey said about it. The internet is something that is built by everyone and is driven by consensus. Anyone can alter its course. Bitcoin is built in the same patterns as the internet. I believe that the internet desires a native currency, and I believe that Bitcoin is probably the best example of that desire to date. In the end, what matters most is that everyone accepts that money is an exchange of value, and Bitcoin is currently the closest thing to this. The majority of people have never heard of Ripple, Dash, Monero, or Litecoin. However, if you ask people on the street if they are familiar with Bitcoin, it is likely that they are. Okay, I need to go over the course simply rapidly of how you approach putting resources into Bitcoin, and afterward, we will respond to the main inquiry, is Bitcoin really wise speculation? To buy Bitcoin, you basically only need to follow 3 steps. The first is that, just like with cash, you need a wallet to store it. With Bitcoin, you only need a digital wallet. Therefore, you send, receive, and store Bitcoin using the wallet. There are 2 kinds of wallets available. The first is the computer or mobile-compatible software wallet. With only a small amount of Bitcoin, a software wallet is easier to use, while a hardware wallet, which is a device that connects to your computer and is thought to be much safer, is another option. Okay, so you need to buy some Bitcoin through an exchange once you have the wallet. Coinbase and Gemini are 2 of the more well-known examples. Finally, withdrawing the Bitcoin from the exchange and sending it to the wallet is all that is required once you have purchased it through that platform. It's not that hard to do. I will leave a link to a video in the description if you want a nice step-by-step guide on how to do it safely. But first, you need to decide if Bitcoin is actually a good investment. I don't want to go into too much detail about it, therefore I have personally invested for a considerable amount of time, and the most effective way to approach investing is through the lens of risk and reward. How much am I likely to lose and how much am I likely to gain, as well as the odds of each? So let's start with the risks associated with Bitcoin. I'm going to be straightforward about this. If you use Bitcoin, you could lose everything. Bitcoin is a cash that is 100 innovations put together, and it's dependent on respect to individuals. At last, embracing it and involving it as money. Although more and more people are becoming aware of it, utilizing it, and adopting it over time is not a guarantee that they will continue to do so in the future. If everyone decides to sell it and stops thinking about it, your investment is gone. On the other hand, Bitcoin has a huge potential reward. Because the reward is significantly greater than the risk, let's focus on the reward. I'll show you how to measure the so-called gold. Although gold is physical and serves primarily as a value store, it shares many similarities with Bitcoin. It has a limited supply, can be mined like Bitcoin, and can be used as a safety net against economic crises like Bitcoin. Therefore, as of the production of this video, the total value of all gold in the world amounts to approximately $12 trillion. The total market value of Bitcoin is approximately $600 billion, which is approximately 20 times less than gold. If Bitcoin were to reach the same market capitalization as gold, which many experts believe it can, we would receive a 10, 20, or 30-fold return on our investment, though I do not guarantee it will reach that level. Because of this, I view Bitcoin as an investment because there is significantly more potential for gain than risk. It would even if you lost everything or doubted your investments, but the potential is much greater than double, so you are on the right side of the risk-reward spectrum. However, the risk is that you could lose everything, so you shouldn't bet your entire house on Bitcoin's upward trend. Therefore, you should only invest what you can afford to lose. Play this investment wisely, whether that's just a portion of your portfolio or more if you're braver than I am. I wouldn't risk anything with this cryptocurrency. However, in the end, Bitcoin is superior to the fiat currency that we're currently using and all of its drawbacks. Think about Tesla 10, 5, or even 3 years ago, when people thought the company was a joke and it was the largest automobile manufacturer in the world. Why? Because it was developing a better mode of transportation and had superior technology. When compared to our flawed money system, the same holds true for Bitcoin. Overall, it's better, and the times in which we find ourselves are very unusual. The Federal Reserve prints trillions of dollars annually, devaluing the dollar every second. With the lockdowns, closing of businesses, crazy politics, and Bitcoin, governments have more control than ever before. This system does not depend on any one institution. Therefore, investing in it might not be a bad idea. You might be glad you did it in the future. Thank you from Cash Street, where cash is always king.